Welcome everybody. Today on a bit of advice, we have a great guest for you today prepared. I'm Joshua Birdsell, your show host, young entrepreneur from Alabama. Come out here to start my own business, and now we've been on the show for a few months and pulled some great advice, and we're helping entrepreneurs, as many as that can watch the show. So I would like to introduce this show as we have 100,000 likes on Facebook, and we're also on successradio.org and on our Success Radio on YouTube. We are live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook as of right now. Shortly, we should be getting on a few other networks. As I said, my name is Joshua Birdsell, and our guest today is Jason Freeman. So, Jason, tell us a little bit.
I'm from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, but what you're hearing is not a Midwestern accent. It's what's called a speech impediment. At least I used to think so. When I was born, my umbilical cord became kinked like a garden hose, which makes it hard for me to say umbilical cord became kinked like a garden hose.
Right. Well, that is great that you're here with us to give us some great advice, Jason. And I appreciate that introduction. So tell us a little bit about why you have a speech impediment. I know nobody can see you through the video. We had a little bit of technical difficulties today with a few updates. XSplit let us know about right before the show. So we have your picture here, but we can definitely hear you. So tell us a little bit about why you have the speech impediment.
So when I was born, I came a few weeks early, and surprised my parents in the middle of the night, and they got us to the emergency room in time, but in the process my umbilical cord became kinked like a garden hose, so I lost some oxygen, but luckily not too much, or else I would be in a wheelchair, or I could have even not survived my birth.
Oh, well, we thank God that you're able to be here with us and able to function well enough to give us some great advice. So I've seen that you've been around to a few seminars, and I've watched some of your YouTube videos, and I've read your bio, man, and it's very interesting. So I've been looking forward to this show today. So I see that you went to poetry school, and I was going to pull a little bit of advice from you out of the poetry school because I'm also a poet. I've made my own songs for a few years, and a lot of people that know me know that I've been making songs for a while. So I never went to school for poetry, but I thought that was just awesome that that you went in for the art of poetry. So what was that like?
It's fascinating. I went to a great program in Nebraska, great students, great teachers, and it's just for me, poetry and writing poetry inspires me to pay closer attention to life, because to really notice what's going on, because like if I write in generalities like, oh, it's a blue sky outside, I mean, it's boring, but if I talk about it's a blue sky, navy blue sky with clouds that are so like they almost look like you can taste them, and
The adjectives behind it.
what?
I said the adjectives behind it, the things that are describing it, how poetry can be really deep.
Yeah, the adjectives and the metaphors, and I couldn't think of a good example of that on the spot, but when a person can describe something in a way that people don't don't quite think of it usually in that way. It causes people to go, "Oh my, wow, that's neat," and it causes people to start to see things in a new way.
Wow, yeah, that is so true. So I mean, poetry can really bring out feelings that are described in such a big way, and you can say it with such a clever way. So I mean, yeah, like I said, man, I've been writing for years now, and I
Oh,
love
that's
I
cool.
love poetry. I just never was able to go to school for it, so that's why I had to ask that. I think that that's pretty cool that you got to go to school for that. So I also see that you said that you have some imperfect, I can't even say it right. So imperfect advice for today's show. So what do you mean by that?
Well, what I mean is, and it sounds so counterintuitive, but in order to get where we want to go in life, we we um basically have to practice, and practice involves doing things imperfectly.
Correct.
Like for example, if we rehearse this interview like 50 times in a row, it would sound different. It would sound more rehearsed, but this is the first time that we're doing this interview, so my responses aren't quite as perfect as they would be the 50th time around.
Right. That makes perfect sense. So you're saying that like if we did the show, if I was to call you and we rehearsed the show 50 times today, it would go a lot better and smoother, and but there would be a lot of imperfect shoots in between, and there would be a lot of work in between to make it to be a little bit better. I wouldn't say perfect because it's really hard to say anything is perfect.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so I totally get what you're saying, as far as the imperfect advice. So what is your imperfect advice?
And here's the caveat: would if we rehearsed the show 58 times, would it actually be end up better, or is it almost better on the first time where we're just playing and able to speak more freely?
Right.
Sometimes things sometimes we can. So my advice is to just notice. There's many parts of my advice on this. One thing is to to ask yourself, what would I do in life if I wasn't afraid of getting it wrong, of making mistakes? What would I do in life if I wasn't afraid of making mistakes? Then, then my second piece of advice is to work up the courage to do that thing, and I mean, stay as safe as you can while you do the thing that scares you. I mean, of course, but also just so the thing that scares you, there's a ton of excuses why you don't want to do that thing, and I mean, like this could go wrong, that could go wrong, and that could go wrong, and those things are true, but wouldn't it almost be more fun to actually be doing the thing, and then guess what, you'll make mistakes as you do it, but then you learn from the mistakes and you move forward, and who's to say the 50th time of doing something is perfection? Maybe the first time it maybe the first time the what you want comes out, but in order to know if the first time or the 50th time is the best, you just have to start and you have to be willing to make mistakes.
That's so very true. I mean, like you definitely said a mouthful there. I mean, I love the advice where you say, where would you be right now if you hadn't made any mistakes? You know, that's so very true because a lot of times those mistakes turn into opportunities. And a lot of times those opportunities turn into careers or hobbies or things that bring you joy in your life. And if you don't ever get out there, just like you said, if you don't ever get out there and try it, you know, even for the first try, you know, then you won't ever know if you're going to make it. You won't ever know if it worked, you know. I mean, but you might have to try 50 times before it works. So yeah, that is so true. And like I said, you said a mouthful there. Like I totally can relate to you and what you're saying there. So I know that you went to a lot of different seminars. What was your favorite seminar that you went to?
Each seminar I've been to, and
So it would be hard to choose just one favorite. So,
yeah,
so what would be one that you learned from the most that you could say that was the most useful in your life? Like, what would that seminar be?
what would that seminar be?
Like the most useful one in your life right now. What's some advice that you can pull from one?
So the most useful one right now is I went to Kyle Cease's Evolving Out Loud. Kyle Cease Evolving Out Loud quite a few times, and he had me speak on his stage a lot of times too, and what I learned from Kyle is what I talk about to really have faith in our creativity and really have faith in our ability to start something and just go for it, and he would say the answers will come to you as you go for it more and more.
That makes sense. So that you're saying like if you hold faith and you just stay faithful in what you're doing and believe in what you're doing, the answers that don't make sense at the beginning will slowly start becoming relevant and coming into your life more and more the more that you do it. Correct?
Yeah, and it can be a scary process because we look at like a move we want to make, a new job we want to have, a new business we want to start, and we can just think of all these questions we don't know the answer to, and it can become so overwhelming. But if we just start saying yes to the very next step, and then saying yes to the step after that, and as we make mistakes, like just learning from those mistakes and keep the momentum moving forward, and then listen for the answers that come from that process.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, it's so true, man. I mean, like, if you just got to stay with it. So, we have a lot of people joining us right now. I want to say thank you. There are a lot of names that are joining us right now, so I can't say all of your names, but I want to say thank you to everybody joining us and everybody listening right now to Jason's story and Jason's advice. He'll be giving away a gift, so stay tuned at the end. He's been so excited to give away this gift, so we'll we'll be seeing what kind of gift that he has to give at the end of this show. So my next question to you, Jason, is you talked about the perfectionist voice in our minds at the TEDx seminar. Explain that to our viewers.
Sure. So, when I was younger, like in grade school and especially junior high, I thought that I was the only one who had the perfectionistic voice. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you perfectly fine.
I thought I was the only one who had the perfectionistic voice going on in his head. But what I've come to realize is that we all have the
See him.
perfectionistic voice, usually going on as many hours as we are awake, and we can either go to war with our voice and do battle with it and think that it shouldn't exist, or else we can try a different tact and and be kind to it, acknowledge it, give it space, but not let it run our lives.
Is that Jason Freeman?
Dennis just
It
joined us here.
is.
I snuck into the studio. It's good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you too.
You get to see our imperfect screen, as me and Jason have been battling with for the past couple hours.
Oh, I thought you did it on purpose to show off how imperfection works really
Well,
well.
that's what he said. He said it'll work just fine, so we stuck with it and
Good.
kept on with the show at 5:30.
Awesome. Hey, I was listening a few minutes ago and I heard him ask about a seminar that really stood out for you. How about Secret Knock? How has that changed your life?
Oh wow. Well, yeah, you're right, Dennis. That seminar did stand out. So great. Greg Reed gathers just this phenomenal. His friends who are phenomenal speakers who have done amazing things. The list goes on and on and on. But Greg let me. Oh, Greg had me come up on stage and tell some of my story and 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 the moments were just magical because I think everyone, including me, in the saw who was in the room saw something new. Saw saw something new. For me, I saw that I was more powerful than I had imagined, and for the room, I'm not sure exactly what they saw, but I know that afterwards was Alex Swanson, who runs Amazing Habitude Seminars, jumped up and told me I had a lifetime membership to speak on any of his stages.
Hey, Jason, let me interrupt you for a minute if you don't mind, because I know what people felt there because I was in the audience and that's where I met you. And I want to point out to people that this was a stage that Jason got to speak on. It was the same stage as Frank Shankowitz, the founder of the Make a Wish Foundation. and Dawn. Um, I'll think of her last name in a minute. Dawn was is uh, Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island.
Oh yeah.
Dawn Wells. Those kind of speakers were on that stage, and that's the stage that Jason got pulled up on with several hundreds of people that got to hear him speak, and we were all blown away because we saw somebody with that accent called speech impediment and that blessing called cerebral palsy that did not stand in his way to get him up there and allow him to share his thoughts and feelings with us. And it was life changing for me and many hundreds of people in that audience. And that's how Jason and I became really good friends. And now I'm blessed to be a coach for Jason. And even more than that is the friendship that we share is intense. So, and it's because he didn't say, "Oh no, I don't want to get up on that stage." He got up there even though he was not prepared for it.
That's awesome. And that's Dennis Normella speaking. Those who don't know who Dennis is speaking, they're wondering if that's not the Alabama accent or the imperfect accent, as Jason said. That is Dennis speaking. He just joined us, walked in the room, and he had a few things to say about Jason. So Jason, yeah, I've watched your TEDx, man, and like I said, it was moving. So I can only imagine the feeling in the room when you get up there and give your testimony, man. It might not seem like a big deal to you, but it's a big deal to us because I think that it makes us take appreciation to a lot more things that we don't appreciate in our everyday basis. Whenever you get up there and you show your courage. So my next question was, how do we do our imperfect best? How do you wake up every day and stay motivated to do your imperfect best?
Great question. It is a daily thing, Josh. So doing our imperfect best is about it's about three things. First of all, it's about observing the perfectionistic voice within us. When we go to do something, if there's a voice in us that says you can't do that because you might do it wrong, you'll never be good at that. Don't even try that because you'll fail. That voice is a perfectionistic voice. So the first step is just to simply observe that voice and acknowledge that it's within us. The next step is to realize that that voice is not. It's a voice in our head, but it's not necessarily the truth. It's a voice we're observing, but it's not. It doesn't have to be the truth. How many times, like Joshua, have you ever done something in life after you had told yourself that you couldn't do that thing?
Oh my gosh, so many times, and I really had to tough it out. And there's been so many, like moving out here. I think I could use that as an example. Um, I guess it was always kind of like I wanted to move out here, but it was just I didn't think it was going to be a reality. And then eventually I had to put my foot down and jump, and I had to move out here. So I can definitely relate to it. So go ahead with it though. Yeah, I can relate.
So the first step is just to observe the voice.
Mhm.
The second step is to know that the voice isn't necessarily the truth. It's just a voice inside our head. The third step in this can be really tough because the perfectionistic voice can be really, really annoying.
Yeah, it can. It will keep on and keep on and keep on trying to pester you and tell you that you're worthless and you're not going to do anything. You can't do this. You can't do that. And it's never as bad as you think. If you just step out there and try it.
Yeah, yes. So the third step is actually to try and be kind to the voice, to give it space. We don't have to do exactly what it says or to believe it, but the voice is like a little kid who, I mean,
Like
who's
a bully. It's almost like a bully picking on you.
yeah, like a bully, like a bully sometimes, but sometimes that same voice will keep us safe from harm, so we don't want to completely throw it out. But so the question to ask is what? Okay, I have this perfectionistic voice. What can I do in this moment to to be kind to it, to give it space? And then the last step, once we've observed the voice, we acknowledge that it's not the truth necessarily. We've been as kind to it as we can be. The last step is to know that we have the choice. We can listen to the perfectionistic voice and do exactly what it says, or we can go forth and do our imperfect best.
That's so true. That is awesome. Like I like the way you ended that. We can go forth and do our imperfect best and just try it anyways. I mean, but like you said, you can't be an idiot. You got to have some common sense in there. On what to do and what not to do. But as far as going for your goals, I say go for it. And I think that's more or less what we're talking about.
Yeah, definitely. We don't want to chase after mistakes and like wait. I mean, who wakes up saying, "Oh, I want to make a bunch of mistakes"? Yay!
Right.
But but to not let the to acknowledge that as we grow, there's going to be mistakes along the way. It's just part of life and
Part of the process. You got
part
to
part of the process.
yes, you got to trust the process. So we're getting to the end of our show, and I definitely want to give you the floor, though. I know you said you had a gift to give away, so I'm going to give you the floor to tell us about the gift because I'm kind of excited too. You didn't tell me about the gift until right before the show, so I don't even know what the gift is. So go ahead and tell us what that gift is and how to receive the gift.
Perfect. So I've written a book called Awkwardly Awesome: Embracing My Imperfect Best. It's a book that tells some of my story, but also gives the reader the questions for their life, so they can go on the imperfect best journey. And so, in the gift is the first 36 pages of the book, so you can check it out and enjoy it and see if it's for you or if it's not for you. And as a bonus, I've added a video about the meditations I do in the morning before I get out of bed. I now call them alarm clock meditations.
Mm-hmm.
They're so simple, they're so relaxing, and they've transformed a lot of things for me. So both those things come in one gift.
And how can we reach you to get those that 36 page?
Just simply go to jasonwfreeman.com, like on the bottom of the screen, and then after that put /gift.
Okay.
I'm sorry, so type all of that in. I mean, don't go to the website. type in jasonwfreeman.com/gift.
Okay.
Does
Awesome.
that make sense?
Yeah. Let me see if I can help everybody out and put the /gift in there. Well,
No, not
how about that? Is it just like that, Jason?
yeah, but so you can see the GI. There's also the FT on the end.
Okay.
Probably all lowercase.
Oh,
He sends it
may
after the.
I don't have this as a full screen. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I got you. All right.
Yeah. So exactly, Joshua.
Okay. So jasonwfreeman.com/gift, and you'll be able to get that 36-page book. And what else did you say you were giving away on the gift?
Oh, a morning meditation.
That's right. Your alarm clock meditations.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So is there any other way that we can reach you or get in touch with you besides your website?
Oh, I'm definitely on Facebook.
Okay.
If you go, and I
And
and
we share
my
your video on
this
YouTube.
my business yeah, I have a Facebook page and a video and a YouTube channel, but everything is linked through my website, so that would be a good place to begin.
All right. That sounds great. So we want to thank you today for a bit of advice, a bit of imperfect advice, but I think it was just perfectly fine. I definitely enjoyed it. I enjoyed our talk that we had before the show too, trying to figure out this XSplit update and all that good stuff too. So there's a lot going on. It's
We
always
did.
updates that change everything, and I mean sometimes it can be a good thing, and sometimes it can take you a minute to adjust. So maybe that'll be a little bit of our bit of advice today as well. So if there's an update in life, sometimes you just gotta figure out the update, figure out what moved around, figure out how to adjust to the update, because sometimes the update can be better because it might work out a glitch in your life. So maybe that can be our bit of advice today, because we sure have been struggling with that today here at the studio. And we want to thank Dennis for joining us and giving his little 2 or 5 cents that he put in. Thank you for that. But Jason, so we'll have to get on here. I feel like these shows, like I say it every single time, these shows go way too quick. So we'll have to have a part 2 where we can dig in a little bit more on some of the other seminars that you have. And I know that you're a bravery coach. I'd like to get a little bit of information on that as well. So maybe we'll have a part 2 to the Jason Freeman, a bit of advice, if that's okay with you.
Cool. It would be my pleasure.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you everybody for joining us, and stay tuned for next week. We have a great guest. She will be possibly going to Mars, so you definitely want to stay tuned to next week's show. So I know Jason, he's excited about it too. He's wanting to watch the show for next week too. So thank you everybody for